Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the box. We'll take a closer look at the Rex itself, and I'll explain to you guys exactly how this works and what it does. You can see that they have several different images on the box right here, kind of give you a better understanding of what's in there. We'll open this thing up. It did come with a bunch of bubble wrap inside. I took that off just to kind of speed up the video. But here is the Rex itself. This is our protective mount. We have our instructions right here, which gives us different mounting instructions for what you can see is printed on the Rex itself. Then we have our Picatinny mount, which you can see right there. So that's our Picatinny mount. And then we have our accessories. So there's a bunch of different types of screws in here, little Allen wrenches and things like that. Now, I'm sure most people that are watching this video right now understand exactly what this thing's for and what it does, but let me give a quick explanation to those people that don't. Basically, what we have here is a small skeletonized protective mount for your micro reflex sights. That could be anything from your Vortex Venom that you see right here, a little small reflex sight, to your little Burris reflex sights, Trijicon RMR, and things of that nature. Normally, they're optics that you don't see on the tops of rifles. They're usually used as a secondary optic, a backup optic, or even an offset optic for those 3-gunners and people that run competition. So they'll put them at a 45-degree angle so they can transition from a magnified optic to something like this, which is one time. You'll also see them on the back of pistols. It's a really popular option for people that shoot pistols and want a little red dot. But you don't typically see these things on the tops of rifles, and there's a reason for that. They're not usually as durable as optics that are designed to go on the top of your rifle. The Trijicon RMR might be kind of an exception to that because the glass is so thick, but still, there is no protective cover to the actual material that holds onto the glass. For instance, like the EOTech has a protective hood that goes over the metal portion that holds onto the glass. The Holosun HS510C that I just took a look at has a protective hood that covers this hood that holds onto the glass. If you were to drop this on the top of a rifle, you can see that there's nothing in the way of this actually hitting the ground. So the shockwave is going to transfer from that metal into the glass. And while it's a very durable optic, it does stand a better chance of breaking than some other optics that are designed a little bit more durably. So what we have here in this protective mount is a way to protect the optic, protect the glass, and protect that shield that covers the glass in a way that's still extremely lightweight, universal, and allows you to get to all of your buttons and adjust your windage and whatnot. The way that they kept it skeletonized, the way that it's designed is fantastic. Now, thankfully, this thing's very well thought out too, which is nice because when you're talking about having a universal mount, it's really hard to figure out which optics have buttons where and what access you might need to certain locations. So by making it very highly skeletonized, you're still able to access everything that you want to access. So you can see here, I still have access to my windage. Right now it's not mounted, I just have it loosely sitting in there. Turn it around to the back and you can see that when we have this thing centered, you have a pretty good field of view through it. This particular one right here actually does allow for some extra viewing surface between the left and the right. And again, I'd have to mount this thing permanent before I show you guys that. And I will roll in some shooting footage so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But still, it allows you access to the back. That's where I have my elevation. And for this particular mount right here, I have my buttons that, determine whether or not I want to make my red dot brighter or dimmer, and I have access to everything that I need. And the fact that they made it skeletonized, open on the sides like that, and in the back, and basically everywhere that you might have a button, is that depending on what optic you're running, you're going to be able to have access to all of the little knobs, switches, buttons, and things like that that you might need. So again, they designed it really well, and it does stick up higher than the optic. So let me see if I can turn this again this way. And it might be a little bit difficult to see. This is the best angle that I could get to try and show you guys that it does protect our optic completely. I think this might be a better angle right there. So basically what it does is this one sticks up, I'm going to say about 1/8 of an inch past the top of our little optics glass right there. All right, now let's go ahead and install the protective cover onto our Picatinny mount right here. And in order to do that, we need certain screws. And what I thought was cool is that they actually labeled all of these individual little baggies right here. So here you can see we have the one for the Vortex Venom, so I don't have to search for anything. I'm looking for the Vortex Venom. It actually says Vortex Venom on this little baggie right here, so I can set that aside and know that I need that. The instructions say that I'm going to need this as well. And then we have a little Allen wrench. I mean, it's just very, very simple the way that they did that. It kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out, and somebody who works on firearms a lot, I can really appreciate that. Now, to start off, you don't actually screw these two pieces together. All you do is you index them together using indexing pins that this comes with. That's the silver little pins that I just showed you just a second ago. What you do is you simply line up the holes, which is very easy. Once you have the holes lined up, you take these indexing pins right here, you put them in the little indexing markers, and that will keep this thing from sliding around. Then you take the provided screws, because they are different lengths for different types of optics, and you simply screw it into your optic into the mount itself, and that holds those two pieces together. And again, our indexing pens keep them from separating or moving left and right. So installation went really easy. It's just a matter of a couple indexing pins and a couple screws and you're good to go. I would suggest using a little bit of blue Loctite on the screws just to make sure that it's going to stay in there securely. I didn't do that because I'm going to probably switch this optic out and see how it runs with other optics. But I would suggest if this is going to be the optic that you have in there primarily, to use a little bit of blue Loctite. So you can see as we turn this thing around that we have not only protection from the sides, but we also have our protection from the top. So you know if the rifle drops, it falls to the side or just kind of banged around in your truck. Whatever the case is, throw it in a barrel in a 3-gun competition, it's going to be completely protected. So it's really nice, installs easy. I think it's a great little part. The only downside that I see to it right now is the fact that it doesn't come with any type of riser mount. So we only have the mount that's on there right now, which is going to be perfect for anybody that runs an AK, a shotgun, or any type of drop stock that is not parallel in line with the barrel. You're going to be able to use this right now, or you can do what I did and just get an extra mount. This is a mount that I had previously. It's a lower 1/3 co-witness mount that I just got. It's a cheap UTG. But I do want to let you know that Strike Industries is actually coming out with a mount for this. So if you want something that matches, this is a little bit glossy. It doesn't look very good. It was just something I got off of Amazon. But if you want an optics mount that's going to work for this and raise this thing up to, I'm not sure if it's going to be, half co-witness or lower 1/3 co-witness, but either way, that is coming a little bit later on down the road, and I'll try to get my hands on one so I can show you guys. So a pretty cool little device here. I do like it quite a bit. So that's the Strike Industries Rex, a great little optics mount, great little protective device. And in reality, this thing could actually save you money, because if, for instance, you have one of these things laying around, a little burst, a little vortex, a little RMR, something like that, and it's just not being used because you have a rifle that doesn't have an optic, but you didn't want to put that on there. Now you can put it on there, save yourself a little bit of money on an optic that may have replaced that, and instead of throwing this thing in a drawer somewhere and kind of forgetting about it until later, you can just go ahead and reconstitute this to a full-on primary rifle optic. So pretty cool little device. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description box. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.